Okay, welcome back. This is going to be probably one of the most popular videos because it seems to be rocket science for a lot of people, and it was for myself once upon a time as well. I'm going to talk you through the ultimate cream of rice method, not recipe, but method. Although there is some recipe tips in there as well. First and foremost, what do you need for the ultimate cream of rice? You need a whisk, a good sturdy whisk. This fly needs to get out of my shot. You need a good sturdy whisk. I have this one, and I also have like a metal one. This one is pretty spot on. You need a round bowl, okay? You need a round bowl. The reason for the round bowl is then you don't get stuff stuck in the corners. It doesn't clump. It's perfect, okay? You need a round bowl. You need some water, of course, and you need a kettle, and then you need a microwave, and then you need a freezer. In that order, I believe. I actually add oat flour to my cream of rice. So this is not just cream of rice. What we have in this bowl, and we're going to make this based on 80 grams of hard stuff. So what I've got in this bowl is 60 grams of cream of rice, 20 grams of oat flour, so it's just powdered oats, gluten-free for my gluten-free gang. And I've got 3 grams of psyllium husk in there, which is this stuff here. Okay, this is psyllium husk powder. This is basically pure fiber. And it is important for a reason, not just for helping you with your digestion, but it also does really help with the texture towards the end, and I'll tell you why. So first things first, combine it all in a bowl and then give it a little stir. Just make sure there's no clumps, particularly in the oat flour. There won't be any clumps in the cream of rice, but make sure there's none in the oat flour. I would add some salt to your initial mixture as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and add mine now. You can obviously do this to taste. I'm going to put 2 grams in. I feel like my scales may or may not be broken. Okay, not quite at 2 grams yet. There we go, 2 grams. So 2 grams of salt in there. And then again, I'm just going to mix that up. Now, this next step is probably the most important. This is the one that will stop it going wrong, and this is the one that for me means that every single time now I have perfect cream of rice. So before we do anything with any heat, we're going to put cold water in there, okay? Now the ratio, I believe you can work anywhere between, turn it off for a second, the ratio you want, or the optimal ratio I'd say, the one that you can aim for a nice voluminous bowl of cream of rice, is 1 powder, 5 fluid, 5 water, okay? I've got 80 grams of hard stuff in here, of ingredients. I'm going to put 100 ml of water in here to start with, cold water. Okay, so we've got 120. And then going to mix this up. And what this does is, because there's no heat going in, we just get a very, very nice, smooth mixture. There's absolutely 0 clumps. And that is unfortunately where everyone goes wrong, okay? So use your whisk to mix that up. And then you're going to have a nice, soft, liquidy looking mixture in here, okay? Mix that for a bit, and then now we will indeed boil the kettle. Okay, so it's important that we keep the mixture on the scales here, okay? The scales are currently telling me 119, which is just the amount of cold water I've put in there so far. What we're now going to do is add the boiling water up to a point. I'm going to go for 550, which is, you might think that's a stretch, but it will be fine. So we've gone for a ratio of 80 powder to I'm going to go for 550 fluid. You can do the maths on that. So let's get started. Okay, we've gone even over that. We've gone to 580, okay? And then we're going to mix this in. And there's no issue, okay? 0 clumps, no nothing. And the magic here is almost certainly from the psyllium husk, okay? The psyllium husk is keeping this nice and thick and together, which is amazing. And once I'm sure there's no clumps, which I'm pretty sure there are not, all we're going to do is put this in the microwave. And we're going to put it in the microwave for 3 minutes on its own, okay? 3 to 4 minutes, 3.5. I'm not even going to stop it. I'm just going to put it in. And that is really why this is the best method, because There's no messing around. I'm not taking it in and out the microwave. I'm not worried about it bubbling over or clumping up. It's just going to go in there and it's going to come out, and we're going to find this nice, warm but congealed mixture of cream of rice. And if we're lucky, we may even add a little bit more fluid once it comes out of the microwave. So let's put it in the microwave, high heat, 3.5 minutes, and then we'll check back in. And that is what 3.5 minutes looks like. So now we go back in with the fairly vigorous mixture, and as you can see, it's pretty damn thick. And that is because, largely, of the psyllium husk, okay? It's holding it together. It's giving it that, like, congealed sort of sticky texture, which, I promise you, whether you like the look of it or not right now, is a good thing. And I'll tell you why in a second. But, as promised, we are definitely going to get away with a bit more fluid in there. So let's test just how much we can get in there. So 80 grams of powder, remember. Currently I've added 580 grams of fluid. So we're going to go with another 100. Here we go, 110. So that is one, almost a 1:6 ratio on the powder to fluid. So if you're talking to me about volume on prep, this is your damn recipe. So we'll get that mixed in. Make sure you give it a bit around the sides. And there we go. Now, I'm not going to push it any more than that because I don't believe I need to. That for me is going to be plenty of volume. And I'm very, very happy with how that is looking. What I'm going to finish here with is a little sprinkle of cinnamon, a little sprinkle of salt, taking it to 4 grams. And then what I like to do as a little finishing touch is add a tiny bit of stevia on top. So again, just steadily sprinkle that across the top. And then what we're going to get is this nice cinnamon, sweet cinnamon crust on top of the cream of rice. Now, this is the very special finishing touch. Do not miss this step because this is what makes it for me. And when we skip to the end of this video, you'll see what makes it in terms of the texture. I'm now going to put it in the freezer, okay? I'm going to put it in the freezer for maybe 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, just enough to cool it down. It will still probably be quite warm inside, but the rest will cool down. And what we'll get is this incredible, like, thick, cakey consistency, okay? Where the spoon will slice through it and you'll be able to pick it up on your spoon and get a nice, like, bite of cream of rice and oats, okay? So we'll put that in the freezer now, top shelf. Obviously, I'm not going to go into toppings because you can do what you want with toppings. I will put blueberries on top of it, frozen blueberries, and then I'll top the frozen blueberries with whey paste. Okay, so this is the final step. Once you've cooked it, you've mixed it, get it in the freezer for half an hour, and then we'll see how it looks. Okay, the masterpiece is ready. I've showered. I don't know how long I left it. I think it was about 40 minutes. So let's see. Whip it out the freezer. Oh boy, look at that. Doesn't even move out the bowl. Wibble wobble, jelly on a plate. Look at that. Just so you can see the texture and why this is so important. So if I just take a little look at that. Look at her. Doesn't even fall off. It's really good. And that, my friends, is how you make the ultimate cream of rice / oats. Just a final disclaimer, that would work just fine without the oats, by the way, if you don't want to put them in. I actually strongly recommend you do. It like adds to the texture, it feels like a more wholesome dish. And I will say, shout out to JP on this one, not that he'll see this video ever, but the Trained by JP cream of rice, for me, does seem to be the best one from a volume perspective. I think you can get the most fluid per gram of cream of rice. So I have to give them a shout out for that. If you are going to buy it, please buy it from Supplement Needs. Buy them at 10 for discount. Peace.